There's only one thing that's actually different from rich people and poor people. And it's not obviously the obvious things of how much money they have, right? Or the success or the businesses. Everyone is a person. Everyone is a human being. They have legs, arms, they breathe the same air, and they all have 24 hours in the same day, right? So we're not that much different when it comes to the biological build-up as a human, right? But what's actually different between rich and poor people, successful and not successful? It's all to do with the mindset. The rich just think very different. They operate very different. When I've spoken to millionaires, right, they just carry themselves very, very differently. Let's preempt something right now. They don't carry themselves now because they're a millionaire. They became a millionaire because of how they used to carry themselves before they had the success, the money and the fame, right? And I've noticed that since I've been studying the mind, thinking patterns, psychology, if you want to call it that, and just the way the subconscious mind works itself and how everything is connected, I've noticed more and more that every rich person is very similar, but they're all very different to the poor people, right? I say poor. When I mean poor, I don't just mean financially broke, I mean poor mindset as well. They're all very optimistic. They speak about money like it's nothing, okay? Because they don't put money on a pedestal. When I speak to the average person who maybe works a job, nothing wrong with working a job, but they put money on a pedestal. Oh, I can't afford that. But it's just a number on a screen or a piece of paper that you trade for something else. I'm giving you a £10 note, can I have this please? It's everything's put on a pedestal because you can't seem to acquire enough of it, and there's people out there who have millions of pounds who then acquire bigger and bigger things, bigger costs. They put the money on the pedestal, but it's not the money that's on the pedestal at all. It's just that people think differently about money, how to operate with it, how to get it, how to receive it, how to give it away. Most people are always in a state of lack. They're always in a state of fear and scarcity. Every single time they get a paycheck coming for 2 or 3k a month, they've got 2k expenses going straight back out. So they're left for the month with about £1,000, and they're holding on to it with dear life, thinking it's my last grand, until the paycheck, which is a month away. But you can't think like that. People who work 9 to 5s or have a bad relationship with money and have a poor mindset think like that because they can't think outside the box. They can't think outside of the 9 to 5. They can't think, how can I create an additional income? You have your job, you do your 8 to 5, whatever it is, then what? Well, you don't go out your way to make more money. You don't go and maybe set up a little side hustle, go to car boots and try sell stuff for a bit of a profit. You don't try and start like an online service or side hustle. But people complain that rich people are put on pedestals, but it's like they're going out their way to make extra money and to put themselves out there. But it's only a mindset difference. I've noticed with successful people, whether they're financially rich by like making millions a month or they're just earning 10, 20k a month, right? They're just super optimistic about everything and they don't have doubt in their life. And if they do have doubt, they understand that it's just doubt. But if you notice, successful people have certain ways of thinking. They create the new narratives. If something bad happens, they don't even see it as a bad thing, whereas the average person would. Not everything is bad. 95% of the time, everything is perfect. In the end. Successful people always stay optimistic. They're smart, they're hyper intelligent, they're super conscious aware. All of them that I've spoken to are very conscious aware. They know everything that's going on around them. They know the people around them. They recognize people's energies and their intentions from the get-go of meeting them. They don't spend their time wasting the energy away on something negative. They don't spend negative energy. And they don't spend time around people with a negative energy or things that could perhaps throw them off from their goals or not actually in alignment with their goals. They're always working on themselves, not necessarily business, but they're always working on a way to try and better themselves, whether it be physically, in the gym, taking up a martial art, a sport. They're always trying to network with other people who are doing a similar thing. They're always traveling and trying to search for different answers and different cultures, trying new experiences. They're not content. They just love doing new things all the time. And that's the momentum of life. They're always just doing things. And because they're always doing things and trying new things, they're creating the conditions for new opportunities to come into their life and they capitalize. But all of it's just a mindset. They're not lazy. Most average people that I speak to who are poor up here and financially, don't fucking do anything. They're lazy as fuck. They go and do their job, say they've worked a hard day, and they sit down and watch TV. Like 98% of the population do. They're conditioned to think that's hard work. Successful people are they're just different thinkers. They're not different people to you. They have the same 24 hours. They have the same things in life that go on. You know, they all experience grieving. They'll experience breakups and stuff like this, but they just think differently. They don't feel sorry for themselves. They get up and go make something of it. The biggest thing as well I've noticed is they can transmute a negative into a positive every single time. And I speak about this quite a lot, about transmuting a negative into a positive, right? Learning the art of mental transmutation, learning how to actually bounce back from a setback and not letting it be a setback, but just an immediate challenge that you need to just get over, a problem and a solution. Too many people dwell on something going wrong. Before you know it, a year has gone past and you haven't done anything about it. Whereas successful people are like, boom, and it's done, it's dealt with. And they don't even spend too much energy or emotions on the thing. They just get it done and they move forward. They keep stepping forward. Successful people are go-getters. They're problem solvers. They focus on solutions and positivity. They better themselves in and out of the business, in and out of life. They focus on the mind, they focus on the body, they focus on their bank account, they focus on their relationships and their people, their occupation, their experiences, their traveling, everything. But the way successful people think is exactly the reason why they become successful. They have good habits, they have good thinking patterns, they think positive all the time. They don't see everything as a negative. And if there is a problem, they solve it. They just build, they build, they build.